talking about like, oh, Biden has to pick a black female as his vice president, and it's either going to be Kamala Harris or Stacey Abrams, or now I forget what's her name, Val Demings, and they're all just like their politics are basic. Their politics are just status quo bullshit, and it's like, when are they going to actually put forth policy that addresses inequity, inequality in this country?
And honestly, I don't think Biden cares. I think Biden knows that, given, man, if you say anything about Biden, people will attack you because
let's say it. Like, I want look. We all know Trump is shit. That's right. Like, that's so base level. That's so base level. And I'm not here to shame anyone for voting for the lesser of two evils or however they want to decide to vote.
Yeah, man. I think it has to be done.
Yeah, I will never shame someone for how they vote. But let's not be fake about who Biden is, what he represents, and how just weeks before the Black Lives Matter protests really caught fire, he went on an interview with a black man to say, "You ain't black if you don't vote for me or you don't get with my program." Like, what bullshit is that?
Yeah, I mean, he was just showing himself. I mean, that's who he was. I mean, he was the same guy in the 70s. He was against busing. He was against busing kids to, those white districts, because he and his constituents were not comfortable with that. I think black people know who he is, and what he is, and they're just looking to get rid of Trump. And a lot of people are just trying to get rid of Trump. And honestly, the whole call for him to have a black woman, he already said that he will nominate a black woman for the Supreme Court. So I don't think he's really he feels pressured to nominate, to have a black running mate, because he knows that most Democrats, most black people, they will vote for him. So I think he still has an opportunity to, is really going after us, the progressives. We don't have to be Bernies, but people who wanted Medicare for all, and as well as college tuition forgiveness for students, things like that, or even a reimagining of policies for people of our generation, because we have to go through a lot of the economic fallouts in this country, and usually we're the ones who suffer the brunt of it. So,
I mean, I know that there's been pressure for him to choose a black female. I know that he said he's going to choose a female, but I mean, look, Nina Turner, you want to extend an olive branch to progressives? She's a black female, and you know what? She fights for the working class of this country. And not only that, like, everyone wonders if progressives can actually work with conservatives or mainstream Democrats. I mean, she was just on TV the other day talking with her former governor, John Kasich, who's a Republican. She was doing a joint interview talking about how they got police reform done in Ohio. So, I mean, all this talk that mainstream Democrats push. And look, I think it's good that we have forums like me and you talking now, so that we could get real progressives saying things out in the sphere. But I mean, who knows?
It's interesting. I think Democrats, and when you read articles, when Bernie was running and he was leading during the primaries, their anger, their disdain was for him. It was so obvious. They had more disdain for him than it seemed than Trump. You know what I mean?
Yes, they do. They do.
And and you realize it's because he was a threat. He was a threat to the way the Democratic Party is run. Because if he had won the nomination, a lot of them would have lost jobs.
Yes.
A lot of
Yes.
a lot of journalists wouldn't have gotten the access that they used to have that they used to get.
Access, status as well.
The status, yeah, and that's the part with being associated with the Democratic Party is the fact that you get access to. What I'm learning is the fact that you get access to those parties. You get to rub shoulders with all those insiders. And Bernie's not an insider. I mean, he's a long-time politician in Washington, but he's not the typical insider who, who has to rub your back to make you feel better and all this stuff. He just says it how he sees it, but they didn't like him, and they didn't like the Senator Nina Sanders.
Tina Turner.
Nina Turner, and other progressives who comprised his even AOC. Did you read that article on Political? Was it Political when they were looking at her history of backing or endorsing people who were challenging the incumbent.
Well,
Like
look,
she was shying away from that because she was trying to cozy up to the establishment.
look, the mainstream Democrats, and by mainstream I mean the ones that still hold the power, the Nancy Pelosi faction, the Hillary Clinton faction of the party, Chuck Schumer, they hate us. And the reason why is this. Republicans look at them and say that they are the enemy. And for them to be called the enemy, that actually gives them some status. Like, oh, these people are afraid of me. But you and I, as progressives, we look at them and we're like, you ain't shit.
Yeah.
You are, and not just that, like, you're full of shit. And you're not really standing up for the American people. So we're calling them out for who they really are. We're not demonizing them. We're just saying it how it is, and they don't like it. And so that's why. And of course, the pressure is going to exist for another clip of Johnny's Jabs. If you liked what you just saw, please be sure to share this with your family and friends and comment below. And if you want to get more content like this, it's easy. Just click the bell below to subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Johnny DeBoer.